Welcome back. Tomorrow, Thursday, August 31st at 6:30 p.m., a ceremony will be held for the demitting of office of the Governor General by Sir Cornelius A. Smith at Mount Fitzwilliams. That's the residence of the Governor General. The government announced last week that Deputy to the Governor General, Cynthia Mother Pratt, will become the new Governor General in the near future. As for road closures, police wish to advise that streets surrounding Government House will be closed to vehicular traffic from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Thursday night. Delegates attending the event will be permitted to park at the old post office parking lot, East Hill Street, the former City Market parking lot on Market Street, and in the former Victoria Hotel parking lot, East Hill Street. This from the Royal Bahamas Police Force Public Relations Division. With Hurricane Idalia making landfall in northwest Florida this morning and on the steady track into Georgia and the Carolinas in the next few days, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is sending out an alert to Bahamians living in the mentioned areas. Bahamians in distress anywhere in the state of Florida can contact the Bahamas Consulate General in Miami via the emergency hotline at 786-795-5826. Bahamians in need of assistance in Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina can contact the Consulate's emergency hotline at 404-474-2104. Bahamians abroad are urged to follow all weather advisories, precautions, and evacuation orders issued by their county or their state. Unregistered Bahamians living in the aforementioned areas are encouraged to register with the Bahamas, Miami, or Atlanta consulates to enable the government of the Bahamas to better assist you, especially in times of emergency. Though the 2023 United Nations Climate Change Conference, otherwise known as COP28, is still more than 3 months away, two of the top performing male and female meteorology trainees of the Nicola P. Small Meteorology Cadet Program discovered during the closing ceremony to the summer program that they will be joining the delegation from the Bahamas at COP28. Donnell Saunders, recipient of the Kenneth Lightbourne Award, and Kendall Isaacs, recipient of the Spirit of Donna Duncombe Award, expressed their feelings about this opportunity.
It feels good. It feels good. My hard work really did pay off, and now we going to Dubai. Yeah, it was something. I really just needed something new to do in the summer, honestly. Yeah, and I did grow to like it, honestly, right away.
I signed up and I got accepted, and here I am with one of the top awards tonight. And so I am very grateful and honored that they saw it fit to bestow this award upon me, which got me an invite to the climate conference in Dubai with the Prime Minister. So that is something to look forward to. Yes.
During his address to the budding meteorologist, Prime Minister Philip Davis warned that it may be sooner than they think where they will be putting their expertise to use. Meanwhile, in a side interview, the Prime Minister gave a preview of what he plans to address at COP28, noting that although he has many ideas, he will first speak with other Caribbean leaders so they go to COP28 with one voice and one message.
For example, carbon footprints are not being lessened. In fact, to me, it seems to be increasing. And so I think penalties has to be exacted on oil-producing countries or oil-producing companies. Maybe a 2% tax going to a fund to help our small island developing states to fend itself from the consequences of climate change. So, for example, we need to consider whether or not legal action can be taken against what I call the huge emitters, the industrialized countries, and or their multinational corporations that are contributing to carbon monoxide in the air, and to determine whether there's some liability to that. At the moment, we are waiting an advisory advice from the International Court of Justice to see whether or not we can make countries responsible for emissions.
The Prime Minister goes on to list a litany of other matters he would like to bring to the world stage, particularly the access to climate disaster funding and how countries qualify for such funding.
And there are a lot of other issues dealing with mitigation and adaptation, loss and damage, the liability in respect to that, climate financing, ensuring that a proper architecture for accessing funding is crafted so that countries like ours will not be shut out from financing because of what they deem to be the fact, we are a graduated country because our per capita income, right, is such that we are considered a middle-income country, and therefore we don't have access to grants and the kind of concessionary lending that we had. And the fight is to change that model, to have more emphasis on the country's vulnerability rather than its per capita income.
COP28 will take place in Dubai November 30th through December 12th. In crime news, 2 adult males, a 39-year-old and a 38-year-old, are in police custody, arrested for alleged possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply. Officers attached to Operation Ceasefire seized more than 1 pound of suspected marijuana with an estimated street value of $1,105 from the pair of men late Tuesday night. Police say shortly after 11 p.m., the officers were on mobile patrol in the vicinity of a business establishment on Miami Street in the Angleton area when they conducted a stop and search of both males along with the surrounding premises and discovered the dangerous drugs. Investigations into that matter continues. And finally, the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, FAO, in collaboration with the Forestry Unit within the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, is taking steps to protect the Bahamas' forest and sustainable management of forests. This initiative stems from a workshop held on August 24th, which is a first step under a new Green Climate Fund project aimed at establishing a strategic framework to reduce deforestation and forest degradation in the Bahamas. Another objective of the project is to improve planning and monitoring of forest and land use activities for mitigation and adaptation. According to Acting Director of the Forestry Unit, Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, Danielle Hannock, based on the success of this project, the Bahamas will be able to have more access to climate finance opportunities while also advancing the forestry sector of the Bahamas. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jorino Saunders. Thanks so much for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.